Hello, I think we're live here. Can anybody hear me? Is anybody here? Hello and welcome to tonight's Facebook Live event here at the home of the Diocese of Ogdensburg Facebook page. I'm Tom Semeraro, the Director of Youth Ministry. And tonight, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about Laudato Si. For those of you that don't know, Laudato Si is the second encyclical letter put forth by our Pope Francis. Laudato Si, translated, actually means praise be to you. And an encyclical letter, which I actually learned about today, believe it or not, I apologize, but encyclical, it's in reference to a circular letter meant to be shared with everyone. So I thought it was great. It's like spreading some good news. The underlying theme with Laudato Si is care for our common home. Before we dive into the presentation part, I want to share a video with you. So kind of hang back for 5 minutes and check this out, and then I'll come back to you, okay?
a project that I did, get all of this plastic straws out of our cafeteria. I just woke up one morning like, I want to try to save the environment. We saw a bunch of pictures of animals dying from that, and we got concerned and we tried to stop it in our area. The idea I came up with is we get rid of the plastic straws and try to replace them with bamboo, paper, or metal. At the end of last year, we were thinking of doing a compost, and my friends seem to be all on board with it, so I'm pretty excited.
Okay, there we go. Hello, welcome back. Hopefully that was entertaining and kind of informative. I know that you see a lot around you these days when it comes to our Earth and care for it. And there's, global warming is a big issue. But, Pope Francis's Laudato Si is deeper than that. It doesn't just involve taking care of our planet. It involves taking care of our common home, which is not just the planet, but the creatures on it, and us and each other as well. So you might have seen that in the video. Pope Francis and St. Francis in particular, I won't get too deep here, but I just want to just pass this by you, really understood the connectivity of all living life on this planet, that everything is interconnected. And if you take a moment, and especially now with the way we are isolated and our world is actually gotten smaller and we're maybe finding ourselves in nature a bit more, we're getting that chance to reconnect with our planet, a lot of us. So hopefully we won't have much more isolation, but we want to keep everybody safe, which is also care for our common home. Let me get specific here. I want to share with you 10 ways that we can live Laudato Si. So that's care for our common home as a family. How much fun could that be? Actually, not just doing it yourself. Nobody can do everything themselves. So how about doing it with your family? I took this information right from livelaudatosI.org, live, and there are a lot of great resources, but this is one of them. And I can share a lot of this with you on the Facebook page after the presentation and in the ongoing week here. Remember, this is Laudato Si week. We celebrate Laudato Si all week long. There's going to be a lot of events and information coming through the Facebook page. So, forging forward, let's begin. Most importantly, with all things, a little quote from Laudato Si. Our relationship with the environment can never be isolated from our relationship with others and with God. These are Pope Francis's words. So, I encourage you, and so does Laudato Si and the Pope, to pray with and for creation. So how do we do that? Some of the ways you can do that are to include a prayer of thankfulness for creation, and that we will all protect our home, common home, in your family's daily prayers. Pray with the news. Actually listen to the news and keep those intentions in your heart for our leaders. Pray for them to make sound judgments, to help take care of our planet, our brothers and sisters, and the creatures as well. Incorporate people impacted by climate or ecological issues into your daily prayer. Pray for others. And then just go outside and pray. One good example of this, since I'm in this position in youth office, is Camp Guggenheim, the summer program, where they pray outside a lot. It's a beautiful place, and it's wonderful to see all the young people and the counselors and the pastors when they're there. Just everybody really immersed in nature and praying. It's a wonderful thing. I'm going to share with you. This is a little Echo Examine card. I'll make this available too at some point. And it helps you to kind of focus on what we're praying for. I just kind of take the green parts here, the green words, and there's my prayer of thanks. And then you can actually examine your conscience a bit and see how you've succeeded and failed at some of those situations. But remember, we're always forgiven as long as we keep working hard. Another way is to live simply. That's been forever, will be forever way of living. There is a nobility in the duty to care for creation through little daily actions. Let me play my little video here for you. I mean, simple things like this, painting with the kids, hanging out, playing games, going outside as a family. There are great moments to just live simply and not have to feel like you have to have the latest thing, because things don't make you happy. It's each other that brings us joy. And what better way to do it in outdoors in nature? You'll actually be surprised sometimes too. I'm an artist. I paint, I play music, and I found that the arts tend to really bring the kids. They just open up and they love to talk while they're creating. And you can learn a lot about your children and a lot about children. You can learn about your parents too. And not knowledge of each other helps to bring you closer. It's a little side note. Let us think before anyone in the family purchases something. Ask, do I need or want this? I'm sure that most of us, I'm a parent, have had this conversation with our kids, probably will, even into adulthood. Do you really need that? Is it really going to bring you joy at this moment? Especially a lot of these knick-knack toys that tend to just kind of, after a few minutes, they're worthless, But I would encourage you, don't just say as a parent, do you really need that? I would encourage you to maybe have a conversation as to why would you need that, and what impact does that have on your life and the people around you. And usually you'll find that the little ones and the teens will actually make the right choice on their own. They're amazing creatures. Another thing is go without meat 1 day a week. It's hard. That burger looks really good on there. Look at that thing. But what happens is when we do that, animals take a lot of energy to raise. So if we do a little bit by just eating a little less meat, we don't hurt the economy too much, because a lot of people depend on that industry to feed their families and earn a living. But it's enough to make an impact. Until we find a better way to do this that doesn't have such a carbon footprint. So that's the amount of carbon dioxide and other carbon compounds emitted due to the consumption of fossil fuels by a particular person, group, etc. So we got to try to reduce that. You've probably heard this terminology thrown around in the news a lot, but it does have an impact on the environment, and a big one. Speaking of carbon, I don't know if any of you have had a chance to just go through the on the web and see some of the images of before the virus and everybody being with stay-at-home orders, and then after. I mean, they were seeing amazing differences in our planet. We're talking like Venice. I'm Italian. That they were able to see fish in the canals, and wildlife coming back. Wildlife, they're walking through the cities. I mean, how great is that? And the air is clearing up, and that's amazing that the earth can heal itself that quickly. The earth is just asking us to do a little bit. Just do a little bit and pay attention, and little by little we can make a difference. Another good step is to agree on family time you'll spend together in a way that doesn't use electronics. If we find a balance between the electronic world, and here I am, of course, streaming to you live virtually. But if you find a balance between technology and, naturality, that's my own little world. No, just kidding. But doing something that doesn't engage all this electronic stuff. And it doesn't just mean cell phones and computers. Sorry about that. It also means, knickknacks and toys and electronics. They use a lot of energy as well. Battery power, and they create a lot of consumables. Let us think of another ways to advocate to protect our common home. There is an urgent need to develop policies so that in the next few years, the emission of carbon dioxide and other highly polluting gases can be drastically reduced. This again is from Laudato Si, from the Pope. The Pope is a scientist, So, and I love him. He's great. I mean, you got to love him. He takes science, he takes spirituality, and he takes wisdom and rationality and puts it together in this encyclical. And it makes sense when you read through it. But we really do need to work towards creating policies to change how we consume things on this planet. So back to how, as a family, what can you do? All right. So advocate. That's a big word, and God calls us, Jesus calls us to be good people. But it doesn't just mean be good. It means we have to correct the things that are wrong as well. And I know most of you know this. This is the hardest thing to do. When you see something wrong, sometimes indifference, you're just like, But you really need to step up, and you'll be surprised what the Holy Spirit can do. I know many of you have had experiences where you're like, wow, I can't believe I just did that, and it's the right thing. And you'll have some success with that. But teach your kids to speak up a little bit, to just try to make a difference and speak about it. Another good tip is to find a way as a family to contribute to care for creation. Taking walks in the park, and while you're walking along, if you see a little garbage, just pick it up, throw it in the bin. Really simple. As a parent, you're showing the kids that's how we take care of things. If you are in an area where they're having a climate rally or an opportunity to learn more about our Earth, attend that. They're a lot of fun. It's great for the young people to come together that way. It's great for families to come together that way too. Center around a common goal. I'm just thinking here too off the top of my head. I don't know if you go through this, but I can't say I do, but you can just have the kids clean their room. Like, just pick up your room. It's probably easier to have them pick up garbage in the park than have them pick up their room. I get it. But if you have success with that, let me know how, and you can teach me. Another cool little thing is to hold a postcard or petition drive at your parish to support environmental policies, with everyone in the family writing postcards. Take those postcards and make them, design them, be artistic, be creative, have fun with them. Put your family stamp on there and the names, and send that to your local council person. Start local. You don't have to get them up to the high government levels. Start at home. It shows that it teaches the young people how they can make a difference, and it doesn't take much, just a little bit. But I'll tell you, if a lot of people do a little bit, that's a whole lot of. So get everybody going and get friends involved. As I mentioned this, hopefully it's not the be-all, end-all of ideas, but this may inspire you to have some of your own ideas and share them with others too. And let me know. Send me an email. Shoot a little post here on Facebook. Let me know what you think. Throw some thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever you think. Another thing, again, along the same lines of writing to our community leaders, is you ask the kids in the family, each person in the family, including your children, what your community could do to be kinder to creation. That might be neat. Now, this can go to a council, a mayor, or other community official, asking them to consider the change. Or you can just write it down like a day logger, or just a daily journal that the kids can have and maybe go back to later on when they get a bit older, and just remember those times that you had together, and share that with their children too. So it's kind of a neat thing. Spread the word. Let other family members and friends know what you've done, and invite them to take the pledge. Now, there's this pledge you can take, and also a packet, a toolkit at livelaudatosee.org, and I'll make these links available for you. And it really is neat. It gives you a nice format to follow, because we're really busy right now, and I know it's difficult to come up with game plans for something new, but it's really good. It has everything for you. I won't go too much into that. I'll just share it with you. I want to share with you right now one family, or one student. This is Lydia Nebeznik. She is a student from Seton Catholic. She's a sixth grader. And sixth graders were given an assignment to discuss it was for Earth Day, which, they're hand in hand here, Laudato Si and Earth Day, to a certain extent. And she did a little slide presentation on her family's pollution reduction during the COVID quarantine. So I thought it'd be interesting to share this with you. And I'll just move along here. So she wrote here, gasoline. So before the shutdown, between round trips to school and errands in town, my family drove at least 450 miles per week that we don't drive now. This is equivalent to 18 gallons of gasoline that we did not burn in 1 week. This is a lot of pollution and money that just our family saved. That's so true. I mean, I noticed that in my own driving habits as well. Hey, on top of that, I got a little check from my insurance company because we're not driving as much because of the quarantine. They gave us a little money back. Hopefully you're benefiting as well from that, but you might want to look into that. Wasn't much, but it was enough to buy a nice little lunch. Lydia also writes about their family's plastic use here. It says, ever since the quarantine, our family has been making our own yogurt and baking our own bread. Every time we make yogurt, we use a cardboard half-gallon of milk. This is saving 2 plastic yogurt containers. When we bake bread, we save 2 plastic bags per loaf. We bake about 4 loaves a week. Lydia, if you're listening, when can I come over and have some bread? I'm sure it's wonderful. But look at that. That's great. And her awareness of what's going on around her is key. In their gardens, look at these wonderful gardens they have. Now that we have more time at home, our family has had time to start our garden. We also set up a table with a light to start seedlings that we will plant when it gets warmer. Gardens not only save money and give us food, but they help save plastic bags, and they are good for the environment. That's so true. It's awesome. Look at that. That's a whole lot of fun. And just think how good that food's going to be. And her last slide here, water and energy. Now that our family is going less places, we are dirtying less clothes. Therefore, we are doing less wash. This is saving water and energy. All these ways are helping the environment. If we remember these ways of conserving in the future, we will be able to conserve more. Very good, very nice, Lydia. Nice job. Keep up the good work. I hope you get some friends involved too, and some more family members. We're already through this video. I told you it was short. I didn't have my usual silly jokes, but maybe on the next one I will. We'll see. So Pope Francis asks us, pray for and with creation. This is a wrap. Live more simply and advocate to protect our common home. In your prayers, keep in mind our fellow brothers and sisters, you, me, and the people who help create policies in our world. Keep them in your thoughts and in your hearts. As much as we see all the political games that go on, they have a hard job. They have to balance a lot of things. And that could be a whole nother conversation, but I won't get into that now. But if you have any other ideas, I'd love to hear from you. If you are interested in learning more, reach out to us through the Facebook page or at our diocesan website. And I'll share the video online, and I'll share some more the links for you and the USCCB link for the Laudato Si. And I encourage you to try to just dive in spiritually, find that connection to our common home and to each other. Be well, do good, stay safe, God bless. Bye-bye now.